While the city of Cape Town is threatening legal action if the state goes ahead with plans to develop the 10 billion rand Winelands toll road project in the Western Cape for Gautengers, tolls are a fait accompli rather. Cabinet has approved the revised tariffs for the province's tolling system to pay for phase 1 of the 20.7 billion rand Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project. Businesses operating in the province must choose between absorbing the toll costs or passing them on to customers. And Samantha reports.
Their electric blue lights, a blatant reminder that the cost of living in South Africa's richest province is about to get that much more expensive. More subtle by day. But lights on or lights off, the fact is the new tolling system is here to stay. For one of South Africa's leading car rental companies, the cost of tariffs are too expensive to absorb and set to push up the average 300 rand car rental by between 30 to 36 rand.
The mere fact that e-tolling has taken place was a shock to us. We all, like the public, learnt about it when the gantries went up. There's been no consultation with business and with the public at large. The tolling fees attracted by the rental have to be passed on to the customer. There is going to be about a 3 to 4% increase in our normal operating costs in Gauteng, and that somehow has to find its way into the rates as well. So overall, this is going to push the customer's rental bill by between 10 and 12% if you take our costs into account as well.
Vehicles with e-tags qualify for 31% discount. Motorcyclists will pay 24 cents per kilometre. Passenger vehicles 40 cents. Larger vehicles 2 rand per kilometre. Cars and trucks without an e-tag will pay even more. Garth Bolton, CEO of JSE-listed Cargo Carriers, which services steel, fuel, chemicals and cement businesses, says truck operators will be forced to pass costs on to customers and ultimately consumers. Bolton sits on the Road Freight Association's board, which represents half of South African freight transporters. The RFA held numerous meetings with the Transport Ministry and SANRAL, putting the truckers' case forward for even steeper discounts.
In seeing this final announcement, there's no further rebate for us. So feel disappointed with that. I felt that the consulting process of this whole operation hasn't been as good as it might be, and now it's a fait accompli. So, and the fact that taxis and buses are getting off scot-free, also don't feel very happy about that.
The cost of doing business in South Africa continues to escalate, from electricity and fuel to labour costs and the proposed carbon tax. The burden of tolls could be the death knell for small marginal operators.
The courier market is going to be harshly affected too, and a lot of these what you might call we call ancillary transport is, in other words, companies that transport is not their main business, bakeries, breweries, and people who run their own fleets operate very much in this Gauteng region, and obviously they're going to be spending a greater portion of their trips on these freeways. Small transport companies are going to have greater difficulty passing these costs on, not having maybe the muscle of a bigger operator.
A container operator moving from City Deep to Kaya Sands, for example, will travel around 73 kilometres return on the tolled network, with average revenue of 1,800 rand per pickup on a profit margin of 75 cents a kilometre. A 2 rand additional cost per kilometre means the trucker will be operating at a loss. Many trucks will be forced to choose alternate routes, just leading to a transferal of congestion and a deterioration of these smaller roads.
We know of certain operators with cash flow problems that even though it might be less efficient because of their cash flows, they would rather not expend cash up front. So they would rather than use the secondary roads, which would put trucks in places that they shouldn't ideally be, and it's going to put them in contention with the motoring public. And we obviously try to preserve our precarious relationship with the motoring public, and I think it's going to make it a little worse. And obviously the maintenance of those secondary roads is also going to suffer somewhat.
Gauteng will spend 469 million rand this fiscal year on roads versus KwaZulu-Natal's budgeted almost 2 billion rand. Many are questioning why the busiest province with the most vehicles is spending less than a quarter of the budget allocated by a poorer province.
If we don't have the money to spend on roads, can we then really afford these expensive roads and make customers pay even more, because then we could be, at the end of the day, shrinking the economy and leaving even more people destitute and less people to pay those taxes. Because ideally what we would like to have is an economy that is more inclusive over time. But the way that you keep on taxing those people in the economy and putting restraints on them is bringing things to the fore where people are feeling that they don't want to do business in South Africa anymore. And that's even local people. We've already got these logistic costs that are high. Our port costs are high. It takes a while for the trains to reach, up to a week to reach City Deep. So much of our product and our imports into Gauteng take a long time, and there's a cost involved there as well. It certainly cannot be helping the competitiveness of Gauteng, and it certainly means that vis-a-vis other places, we are going to create fewer jobs, create fewer wealth here, and that's part of the problem. And we are the economic heartland, not just of South Africa, but probably of Southern Africa.
There are 61 e-toll outlets in the province where Gautengers can register and buy their e-tags. Alternatively, one can register online or through a dedicated e-toll call centre and opt for the e-tag to be sent via post. SANRAL is still ironing out the details and will be communicating the process very soon. Either way, it's all systems go, and businesses and citizens alike should start saving, as the system is expected to be up and running from January 2012.